Okay, Viper.
Viper.
So we are going to jump back in with Viper, but just wanted to quickly go over its characteristics via this PowerPoint.
A fast-paced job that fluidly shifts between dual blade and double-bladed strikes. I mean, I think this job looks cool.
So it says a fast-paced job that fluidly shifts between dual blade and double-bladed strikes in their various combos and abilities. So you basically have a mode where you have two blades in your hands, each of your hand, and then when those two blades come together in one single blade and kind of going back and forth. But it's a very sort of fast-paced and you have varying attacks. So just looking at the text seems very... It's not very descriptive. Well, I mean, it's descriptive, but it's hard to tell sometimes. So when we say dual blade, dual blade is where you have a blade in each of your hand. And so you have those weapon skill combos, and then you go into a double bladed where those two blades come together and it has its own abilities. And then it also has a set of weapon skill abilities.
Yeah. Has a similar total number of actions as other jobs, but designed so that fewer actions need to be set on hotbar. Okay.
So the second point reads, has a similar total number of actions as other jobs, but designed so that fewer actions need to be set on the hotbar. Just so that you have fewer icons to place into your hotbars. So we're going to take a look at this in game, and you'll see that the actions will be automatically replaced in the hotbar. So it might seem like we're kind of button mashing, but with the automatic replacements, sometimes it might be a weapon skill that changes into a different action, or you also have to pay attention to the buffs that you are receiving or enhancements that you are receiving, or the debuffs or enfeeblements that you are dealing to your enemy to switch your combo routes. So there is elements of sort of thinking about what action to execute next.
Okay.
I think it's quicker to look at it though.
Cool.
Okay, let's check it out. Oh! Ooh!
Beautiful.
あとほら山が綺麗って言ってた。
山が綺麗。Yeah.
Of course, the mountains
Beautiful
are
mountains.
very pretty. The costume we're all too familiar from Yoshida's appearance at the fan festival.
Ooh, what was that thing in the background, dude?
このプレゼントマーク見せていいんだろうか。もう手遅れです。
Too late.
All those gift boxes.
Yeah.
Icons.
Dummy icons.
Oh my god!
抑えられてる。
Oh my god!
Almighty God mode Type A servers were actually in the environment of the media tour.
まずさっきお話しした二刀
Wait, it's upside down. Fuck.
流ウェポンスキルだけお見せしますね。
Okay, so first let us look at the dual blade.
Oh my
実
god!
際にはいろんなものを混ぜていくので、これが別にローテーションってわけじゃないんです。
What is going
全然わかりやす
on?
くするためにいきます。で、
So of course, with the actual combo skill rotations, you will need to kind of weave in between the different actions and weapon skills, but just showing off what this set looks like. And so if you could focus in on row 2 of the hotbars, especially the ones that say 4 and 5.
Okay.
これが基本だと思ってます。アクションが置き換わってるの多分わかりますよ。
And you may be able to see that the actions are automatically replaced with the next.
Yeah.
Yeah, it changes.
これが二刀流ってやつ。
Well, I see, like right
This is
here,
the
yeah.
Dual blade.
で、 合体剣ウェポンスキルを使います。
Next is the double blade weapon skill.
Oh shit.
今のこの下段に並んでるのが最初からブレードを合体
Oh, there's 2 charges of something down there.
ウェポンスキル
So the actions that are assigned to that bottom row, row 1, are those double blade weapon skills.
Man, I wish he'd hover over these buffs.
So of course, as you continuously execute your different skills, the gauge will accumulate. So when you accumulate enough in that gauge up there, you go into a boosted mode called Reawaken. And so once you have that Reawaken mode, you can execute the different double-bladed
look, this takes 50.
abilities.
This takes 50 gauge.
We're gonna
Yep.
some of them out.
Wow.
It also changed on the hotbar. Dude, that looks fucking sick. Holy shit. Yo, he's attacking from a really, like really far away. What's the range on that?
暴れ出しました。
でこういう感じで
Oh, maybe it's because he's Lala? Yeah, maybe.
同じアクションを連打してるの多分見えると思う。
So because the actions are automatically replaced on the hotbar, it might look like you're pressing the same button, but as you can see, there are many different skills and abilities that are being unleashed. But I think you might be able to get a feel of just how quickly we're moving.
もっとゆっくり回してっていうお声もあ
I
る
mean,
んで
my
すけど。
first impression of this job, it looks pretty cool.
It's about how
Well,
you
my
want
first impression, yeah.
the skill of rotation executed slower, but
ゆっくり回すと軽く下がる。
Yeah, the thing is I can't understand this
if you go
shit.
slowly,
I don't
the
speak
damage
moon
output
rune.
kind of slows down too.
It seemed like these two were
どんどん
proc
こう
abilities.
ハイテンションに
You guys think
できるといいな
Viper's gonna be more popular than
But as you can see,
Pictomancer?
it is pretty fast paced, and you've got different actions that you're executing, and it kind of builds. So I think as you are going
I mean, I'm gonna
through
play it.
your skill rotation, it
I
kind
won't
of
main it,
gets
but
more
it looks really cool.
exhilarating, and so I'm hoping that players would enjoy that aspect. So once you have activated Reawaken, in kind of in that aura burst mode,
Jesus Christ.
Let's see, the global recast, or sorry, the cooldown is 2 seconds, but you need to execute your different sort of double-bladed abilities and try not to sort of waste your recast time as it sort of counts back down. So of course, we have called it Aura Burst just for convenience sake, but if you play through the Job Quest series, you'll understand the naming behind the Reawaken action. So
まあ素剣おろしではない。
the Japanese says Sore Oroshi. Sounds very similar to Soken, but not Soken.
So you just get procs then? Holy shit, man.
でももう話す内容としては割とシンプル。ただ今この通常の、二刀流ウェポンスキル基本はようわからない人はまず最初のうちは光ってるアクションをしてきゃいいです。
You know what it kind of reminds me of, man? It kind of reminds me of Dark Arts a little bit.
There's not much to say about it because it's quite straightforward, but basically, like, until you get used to it, I think it's best to just follow which icons kind of light up between the double blade and the dual blade abilities. And of course, the ones on the right-hand side are more for your AoE attacks. Of course, some of the combos, it doesn't require you to do it, but like, say for example, you're in an instance dungeon, and once you kind of like have your tank pulled up all the mobs kind of together, you can go from that sort of single target dual blade weapon skills to switch over
that
to
thing
the,
down there with the charges
AoE
is
dual blade,
it activates
abilities.
your fucking your Darth Maul mode. So many of these buttons are actually duplicates, man. Oh god. Yeah, imagine playing this shit at like 100+ ping. Dude, I bet this job is gonna be miserable at like 100+ ping.
So, of course, just looking at how the actions are assigned on the hotbar and the buttons that you're
Did you see how fast this shit was?
Like it's very simple because there aren't as many buttons to keep track of, but you also are having to look at the different enhancements and enfeeblements that you have. Sometimes it's haste on yourself, or damage dealt is increased. Sometimes it is the damage dealt by the enemy is decreased, and it's a debuff on that end. So you have to pay attention to how much of that.
Wait, they're gonna be able to decrease the enemy's fucking damage?
To
dude, that's like Storm's Path.
That is assigned. There are also some close-ranged attacks that are available for the Viper.
Dude, Viper looks sick, man. It looks sick.
Conversely, you also have a ranged attack where you specify your enemy and then attack from afar. So if there is a situation where you can't necessarily be up close to the boss character, or say, do you want to take advantage of the enhancement that you have to execute those actions, or do you decide, okay, well, I'm gonna let it go this turn and then come back to it some other time, etc.
So yeah, it does have some ranged attacks, kind of like ninjutsus.
Time to get back so that we can show you at least some examples of like how these buffs and debuffs kind of affect your choice in which action to execute. We will first use a double blade action, and then from that you will see it'll branch off to two different actions. So with these two actions, you can use either one, but depending on the situation, you'd have to kind of choose which one, and then the combo route from there will kind of differ.
いきますね。まず初段入れると、同じアクション2つ。
Oh, so one of them is AoE probably.
The first one, and then you see two actions light up.
Yeah. どっち使ってもいいんですけど、3から使います先。
So let's use 3 first.
そうすると、アビリティが
Oh, maybe not. Okay,
文字使いなさい。
I guess the AoE is 8 and 9.
こういうコンボになりますね。
And then go from 6 then to 5.
で、2を使うと。
2 breaks off onto another.
Oh, okay, so
see, those two do not light up in this instance if you use that second action.
で、同じで今度は1を合体点。
Fuck, man. So like, how do I want to explain it? Yeah, so it's like you use 2 and then it's basically just continuation, kind
so
of.
Next, we're gonna do that sort of double.
But the 2's continuation is not the same as the 3's continuation or some shit.
Changes.
Okay, so now you're double blade, yeah. So now you activate those two, right? Okay.
This time the skill that lit up was different from when we used that third button in the row 1. And if you don't use the correct action, so to speak, you kind of lose out on your optimal damage.
Yeah.
まあこの辺はぜひね、木人を叩いて馴染んでいただければいいんですが。
So you're supposed to use 5 and 6.
Maybe use a striking dummy.
Yeah.
Used to the actions.
Man, that's actually kind of annoying because 4, 5, and 6 are all off GCDs. But I guess if this is the most hotbar space you need, then it's not that bad. Yeah, so I guess it's not that bad. Yeah, it might not be that bad actually. I feel like that having 3 off GCDs right here is like kind of...
So out of the 3 enhancements, or buffs, debuffs, so the third one was supposed to be the damage... the damage received by the enemy. The damage that the Viper deals to the enemy is increased.
Yeah, increased.
So
okay.
It's not meant to be like synergy, so to speak, but it's a buff that the Viper needs to pay attention to in order to...
So the Viper has Death's Design.
Appropriate action.
Yeah, it's just Death's Design. So Viper has Haste, Death's Design, and then I want them to talk about the Storm's Path. I want to know if that was the actual translation or not.
And one more comment. There seems to have been mention from the comments that we just mentioned that Monk is going to do away with kind of having to stare at the buffs, debuffs, and the timers. So now are we forced to do that in the Viper job? But that is not the case. We have set up the job HUDs so that it'll guide you with like lighted elements and things like that so that you can recognize which direction you should go in terms of choosing which action to pick next.
So it's kind of like... I mean, you guys are mentioning Dancer. I don't really play too much Dancer. So it's kind of like Samurai mixed with Dancer. So it's like you have your fucking glitter sparkle, your gecko or whatever the fuck it's called, right? You have your damage buff and your speed buff. So you have that on Viper.
I think that's about it.
Except for it's kind of worse on Viper because it applies to the enemy, not
if you try it out and get a feel for it yourself. But I think this is a job where if you master it,
I'm not really a fan of Death's Design.
Into it, so if you're interested in utilizing this
job
with the 2 blades to fight stylish and in a very speedy way, I definitely recommend.
Okay, so yeah, so it's gonna be like
encourage you to give it a try.
When you use your damage buff combo, you're gonna have these off GCDs are gonna reflect that combo, that ability. But when you use your speed buff, they're gonna be different. So you go like speed off GCDs, damaging off GCDs, and then I wish they would mention the fucking Storm's Path. And then you have this button down here with 2 charges that you use the big blade. And then this button will trigger these 2, and each one of these 2 has 3 different off GCDs that they use as well. Okay.
Another comment was that it looks like there's a lot of skills that get lit up with the single target ones as well as the AoE. But that's because with these different skill rotations, you can use single target attacks and then connect it to an AoE to
that's really cool.
Or you can choose to just continue with your
That's really cool
and whatnot. So as you can see in the hotbars that are set up here, you can perhaps assign all of your single target attacks in one block. In this example, we have the 3x3 hotbar set up so that you've got a single target on one side, and then the other side, after like a single row of extra ones, you have your AoE attacks. So maybe that might help with the visibility. And
these 2 moves do the same thing.
It'll make more sense.
They give you double blades. This is the single target version. Right here. This is the AoE version. These are your off GCDs for all your shit. This is your basic combo right here. These 2. This is your basic AoE combo.
Sorry, the explanation for Viper.
This is like your raid buff or whatever because it takes 50.
Long, but it is a new job, and we wanted to kind of dig deeper into it. So
okay, so it makes more sense.
We'll move on. Okay. So that
Okay.
wraps it up for the new
Alright, looks pretty
melee
cool.
DPS Viper.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
はい、ありがとうございます。Thank you very much.
So it's like
いやなんでかっていうと
it gives you that
このチェック
illusion
スタートした
of
時点で
I guess
資料を見た時は
complexity.
何を言ってるのかな
There's a shit ton of different moves,
感じだったの
but
で
all of those different moves are pretty much on 3 buttons.